Frugal Aesthetic clone number 28,657 here. New year, new me, but also new trends that nobody asked for that are being promoted by the algorithm. So I've tasked myself with sorting last year's trends into two distinct classifications. That being stuff that can stick around in your wardrobe and stuff that you should burn because not even the homeless would wear it for warmth. The first and biggest offender is easily TikTok fashion as a whole, but especially when it merges with fast fashion consumption. They're almost inseparable, like an IG model in a link tree. But honestly though, this has to be the most generic, fully trend-driven NPC attire known to man. You know, the only upside to it is that at least you're not dressing like this. However, you're just on another level of mannequin, bro. Like, you're the mannequin at H&M, you're not the mannequin at the Nike store or at the Lululemon. Either way, you're helping fight youth unemployment in Southeast Asia, so good job, really good job. I also have beef with extremely oversized proportions. Now, this can work and it has been done tastefully, but some MFs are just wearing big shit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, some of you are just wearing big shit. Like, you just put a bunch of big shit on and call it a day. It's not even layered, it's just boom, like triple XL, double XL, goofy shit, clown shit, if you will. It's just people are looking like Roblox characters in real life. It's a bit crazy. And as you know, as above, so below, I'm calling for death to de facto skinny jean usage, i.e. I don't know what else to wear with this outfit, so I'm just gonna wear skinny jeans that I bought from the supermarket. Listen, for the majority of people that take part in fashion as a pastime or as a hobby, everyone knows that thrifting exists. So if you want to look good for less, that's your best bet. Go vintage, you won't regret it. I swear you'll save money, and I swear you'll look better than what you do in those like horrific 90% spandex jeans. No one's saying that you need to buy designer brand new to be fashionable. Actually, there's a bigger chance that you'll end up looking like the opposite. But what I am saying is that this era is over. This photo right here, it's a thing of the past. It's the Model T Ford of fashion. Actually, no, it's actually the Citroen 2CV. Also, this doesn't mean that we're gonna abandon skinny jeans as a concept as a whole. They're actually really good in aesthetics and styles like the YSL aesthetic and heroin chic. Now, another thing that needs to be, put to the sword is BlowCore, and it's along with most core-driven fashion trends in my opinion, that the people that wear them, they need to be subjected to medieval torture methods. Now, maybe if people wore it to represent their favorite team or something like that, but it's usually just someone that's trend hopping trying to get the shirt that everyone else is wearing and posting on their Instagram. So you're that scene from American Psycho where Patrick Bateman tells his loving hubby that he just wants to fit in. Plus, polyester and denim do not mix, brother, ew. And it's only ever been done right, in my opinion, once by Echo 2K. But even then, paying to wear a nylon billboard is very crazy. Like, I'm looking at your foot and then I'm suddenly reminded that there's a chip in my windscreen that needs patching, or I need a new set of tires. Next up is the low-level opium fan, in other words, the opiates. And opium core. I just want to remind you that bro is not Cardi, and by bro I mean you, my man. I mean you. You already know who I'm talking about. Before I even show you a picture, I'm dead certain we all have the same fit in mind. It's the Rick shoes, and if you're lucky, maybe he'll have Rick boots or a Rick collab on his feet. Always with the oversized black cargos, probably straight off of Temu, and it's almost always a gigantic zip-up hoodie. That's the fit. Like that's the whole subgenre of a dress. Like, bro, you want to be an individual so bad. Gorpcore is also on the chopping block. It's nothing personal. In fact, I own a North Face mountain jacket. I sound like pitching a tent whenever I move. I can't afford acronym though, and I wish I could. Subscribe to this shit and follow me on Instagram at @phonenoir_ so that I can afford acronym. Okay, to clarify, it doesn't need to join the recycling heap in the sky. It just needs to evolve into something more interesting and palatable, and not something for people to wear to Starbucks or to the grocery store in regular ass sunny weather. At the same time, I just wore this to go grocery shopping, but it was raining, so at least I'm like slightly justified. I'm a hypocrite if you haven't noticed. Anyways, in order for this to evolve, I think that there's Japanese and Korean style cues that would make for a nice change. Think post-archive faction. And the nice thing about PAF is that it has 3 gradations of each piece that allows you to have some choice as to how crazy you want to get, both financially and stylistically. Next up is Stealth Wealth, or Quiet Luxury. It's the one fashion trend that made it to local radio and to the ears of every boomer on the planet. To be honest, it's already dead and buried once your mom knows about it, but I've seen obscenely rich people still wearing this, and I don't actually disapprove. If you're balling and you want to spend a rack on the most regular taupe-colored crewneck, a peasant such as myself would never ever dream of stopping you. I literally couldn't afford to. If you took me to court, you could take everything from me, which isn't much. But as a fashion trend, I think it's found its resting place in the highest tax bracket dung pile of all time. A personal gripe I have is motherfuckers that wear fake vintage tees with rappers' faces on it. Like, why, sir, would you want to have a shirtless rendition of 21 Savage on your entire torso, man? You're a whole adult, bro. You're a whole person wearing a whole other person's face on your body. Face and bare chest, bro. You just think about that, man. Do you feel good? Is your father proud when you wear that shirt? Is he proud? Think about it. Think about it. Lock in, dude. Lock in. We also have Boho chic / modern hippie. Regarding this Goodwill swamp monster monstrosity, some of the colors and proportions are aesthetically pleasing, and it's a nice callback. It almost feels like societally we've come full circle, you know, with our general distrust of authority and corporations. And however, without fail, I spiral into thoughts of how bad hippies probably smelled. And I just imagine the difficulty of washing and ironing and maintaining some of these clothes. I mean, half of the shit looks like it doubles as a tent. This basically has the same vibe as that scene in Spirited Away. I don't know if you've watched Spirited Away, but it has that same vibe as when that, you know, you remember that mosque spirit when it goes into the bathhouse and it's just covered in shit, bro. It's just covered in shit, and they all try to scrub it clean, and then they pull every item known to man out of its side, and that's basically how they clean it. And that's how I feel about that aesthetic. It just feels like you're wearing everything. It feels like you're wearing everything. And I feel like you don't use deodorant and you smell crazy as fuck. Now, as for the more toned down bohemian look, the more books and tea obsessed cottagecore girl, it looks great on Pinterest, and it seems like it would look great, or it seems like it would be an interesting way to stand out. But in the context of the modern world, you really just look like you're shooting a period production piece and you just went to go and get lunch without changing out of your costume. Because let's be entirely honest, you still own a smartphone, you still drink Starbies, yes, and you either still drive or Uber to your venue of choice. So it's not as though you're sitting sideways on a trusty steed or taking a carriage and the horse is gonna shit on the street after you hitch it to a post outside of the saloon, or you're not riding one of those big wheel bicycles. Okay, that's not happening. You're still living in the modern world. Also, here's a fun Venn diagram. How many of these women are probably equestrians? It's probably just a circle. Let's be real. Let's be very real. I also think jorts have to take a serious hike. 3/4 denim jeans with an oversized cut and a pair of Tims. Bro, you're dressed like season 1 of the Boondocks. If season 1 of the Boondocks was a person, you're a caricature. Take that shit off and burn it, cuz. Now I say this, but I may find myself in a vulnerable place later in life, and I may wear that.
Ain't gonna happen.
Now, if that happens, none of this ever happened. I didn't say anything at all. You wanna take a hit of this vape pen, bro? Come on, just take a puff, dude. Just take a psych. Psych, son, this is a neuralizer. You remember nothing. You remember nothing, bitch. As for accessories, I also need to shit on those for a little bit. I need to talk to you guys about Vivienne Westwood pendants and pearls and chrome heart rings and all these like trendy accessories, bro. Again, you're not really special. You're not really special, dude. Does it look cool? Yes. If you bought it because you saw it and it looked cool to you, that's great. But I do have news for you. So did half of the rest of the world, bro. And not everything has to be niche, I can grasp that. But at the same time, are you comfortable with being basic? Ask yourself that question, bro. Are you comfortable with being basic? Do you want to be exactly like everyone else that's ever searched cool, trendy jewelry 2024 on Pinterest? Only you can answer that, man. I can't answer that question for you, buddy. Only you can answer that question. Also, who the fuck am I to judge you, bro? I own a Balenci hoodie. It's not the TikTok one, but it's still a Balenci hoodie, so I'm a part of the problem. Lastly, we have the overly distressed workwear and workwear in general. Bin it, dude. We're done. Now, I say overly distressed workwear. When I say that, I mean to the point where you look like you put your booze in a brown bag and you drink it on public transport. I mean that you look like you walk into a store and grab whatever's edible that's nearest to the door and you Usain Bolt out of that motherfucker. You need to stop it, bro. Leave your wicked ways behind. Also, why the fuck is this shit so expensive, man? I mean, it's almost it's mostly holes. You're charging me double the retail price for half the material. God damn. I mean, I bought this, right? I bought this shit. You studied it, dude. You read this entire thing. You read this whole thing, right? Cover to cover, index included, bro. Crazy. Okay, so now for the keepers. We've discussed everything we're gonna toss. Let's talk about what we're gonna keep. The keepers are the friends we made along the way. Psych, you got clickbaited. GG no re, hold this owl. I don't wish you well. Get good, bro. You're gullible ASL, bro. I swear to God, you're a walking lick. That's crazy. In all honesty, the keepers are going to be in part 2. Subscribe to the channel so that I can feed myself and my starving family. Follow me on all socials at fauxnoir_. That's FAUXNOIR_. I love you. The aliens are landing and the government is poisoning the food and the drinking water.